Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Regular, and today we're going to read Chapter 2 of The Reading Race. So I asked you to make a prediction about who you thought was going to read the most books. We definitely won't find that out today, but hopefully you have it in your brain, so when we get towards the end of the book, you can see if you're correct. Chapter 2 is called Let Me Tell. That night, when it was time for dessert, my dad asked, "Did anything happen at school today?" "Yes! Do you want to hear something really cool?" I asked. "He was talking to me, Hammerhead," said Susie, "not you." "How do you know?" I said. "Because he was looking at me," said Susie. So that means he was asking me." "That's okay," said my dad. "You can both tell me something. Susie, why don't you go first?" Susie smiled at me and then turned to my dad and said, "The book fair is coming next week and there's going to be a contest," I interrupted. That's not fair," Susie whined. "I was going to say that. Freddie ruined it." "Well, you can still tell us about it," said my mom. "No, I can't," Susie said, pouting. "He already told you." "Well, I'd like to hear more about the contest," said my dad. "So if you're not going to tell me, then Freddie can. Freddie, do you want to tell me about it?" "Sure, Dad. There's going to be a readathon for a whole week. We're all supposed to keep track of how many minutes we read each day. And the person who reads the most minutes gets to pick 5 free books from the book fair," said Susie. "Hey, I was telling them," I said, "and you interrupted." "Now you know how it feels," said Susie. I stuck my tongue out at her. "Freddie, do not stick your tongue out at your sister. That's rude," said my dad. "Well, she was rude to me," I said. "If you two don't stop arguing, there will be no dessert," said my mom. "No dessert? But you got my favorite ice cream, mint chocolate chip, at the grocery store today, and you told me I could have some for dessert," I said. "Well, then you will stop fighting with your sister," said Mom. "But what about her? She needs to stop too." My mom looked at both of us. We glared at each other. "I guess I can put this ice cream back in the freezer," said my mom. I had been waiting all day for that ice cream. No, wait," Susie and I said together. "We'll be good." "Promise?" asked my mom. "Promise," we said. My mom scooped out the ice cream and passed a bowl to each of us. So Freddie and Susie are arguing again. I stuck my head in my bowl to smell it. I just love the fresh, minty smell. When I lifted my head up, Susie started pointing and laughing at me. "What's so funny?" I said. You have ice cream on your nose." I looked carefully at the tip of my nose. Sure enough, it was green. I tried to lick it off with my tongue. "Freddie, what are you doing?" asked my mom. "I'm trying to get the ice cream off the end of my nose," I said. How about using a napkin instead of your tongue?" "Oh, but this way is way more fun," I said. "Your way is disgusting," said my mom. "But look, I almost got it all off," I said, sticking my tongue way out of my mouth and tickling the end of my nose. "Freddie, please use your napkin." "Oh, all right," I said. I picked up my napkin and wiped off the end of my nose. "Mom, do we have any chocolate syrup?" "Yes, it's on the bottom shelf of the fridge." I went over to the refrigerator and grabbed a bottle of chocolate syrup. I brought it back to the table and poured it over my ice cream. Whoa, 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 said my dad. I think that's enough, Freddie. Oh, you can never have enough chocolate, I said, smiling. I stuck my finger in the chocolate syrup and rubbed it on my top lip. Look, I have a chocolate mustache. Freddie, said my mom, you have to stop playing with your food. You are not a baby anymore. Sometimes I wonder, Susie mumbled to herself. Please go over to the sink and wash off your face and hands right now. And don't touch anything on your way over. It's just a little chocolate syrup, I said. And a little chocolate syrup can make a big mess, said my mom. She is such a neat freak. She thinks everything is a big mess. I washed up and came back to the table to finish my dessert. Here's a spoon, said my mom. You need to use it or I'm going to have to start calling you Little Piggy. Can we finish talking about the book fair, said my dad. Did you say that the person who reads the most minutes gets 5 free books? 5 free books of your choice, said Susie. Isn't that cool? I said. You get to pick them yourself. That is pretty cool, said my dad. What a great contest, said my mom. Of course, I like anything that gets you to read. I think I'm going to win, said Susie. I love to read. How about you, Freddie? Said my mom. Well, I really want those books, but I can't win, I said. I'm not a very good reader. Yes, you are, said my dad. No, I'm not, I said. And besides, Susie can read much faster than I can. So, said my dad, so there's no way I can read that fast. There's Freddie with his chocolate mustache. Remember, said my mom, you're not counting how many books you read. You're counting the minutes. You don't need to read more books than Susie. You just need to read for more minutes than she does. I sat up in my chair and smiled. Hey, you're right, Mom. Why didn't I think of that? I gobbled down the rest of my ice cream and jumped out of my chair. Where are you going? My mom asked. Where do you think? I said. To read. You're not going to watch Commander Upchuck tonight, said my dad. Nope, I said. No time for TV. I've got to read. So, Freddie and Susie are not getting along, but we're pretty used to that. And since it's not the number of books, it's the number of minutes, Freddie might be able to read more than Susie. What do you think? He's even giving up watching his favorite TV show to read, so I'm sure his parents are pretty excited. Reading is pretty fun. We'll find out more in Chapter 3 tomorrow.